if I start snoring, just yell into the mic and
Punch you through the monitor.
yeah. Hello and welcome to the Part-Time Gamers, gaming podcast for people with full-time lives. I'm your host Searanex, and I'm joined by my good friend Gristle. 9 of 12 is out for today. This has already been a really interesting show because of random audio issues.
What were you saying about random audio issues, Sean?
Yeah,
Before we had some random audio issues?
We missed Part-Time Gaming last week. We actually, September and I recorded it. We played, what did we play?
You played
Heroes of the Storm, that's right.
Right.
And I ended up not being able to use it because, for whatever reason, Discord was not being picked up on OBS.
Oh, this is the first I've heard of that. That's horrible.
Yeah, so the entire time, I did not get any of September's audio. And didn't realize that until I listened to it afterwards.
At least you had a good game.
Yeah,
I wonder if we should, like...
One good game, at least.
I was going to say, and this is, like, side point, we can hash this out more later. I wonder if, on our end, we should be recording ourselves as, like, emergency. Like that way you've got a backup in case there's a problem, we can dump it to you, and you can try to splice it in.
You know, redundancy is not always a good thing, but in this case, but we can figure it out later.
Right.
But and then today, starting this, I had to restart Discord, and it knocked it out of hijack, and we started the show and was not getting Discord, so Zach and I were having a conversation that no one else would hear for, like 3 minutes.
Right.
So
that could be like a Patreon goal, like people can unlock that conversation and listen to sounds. Right.
Yeah. Although speaking of Patreon, I still need to put down the goals and everything like that. But that actually is one of the goals that we're thinking of is early access, like just the raw, like not even edited, just everything, just the show put on Patreon for some of our patrons.
It's a scary thought.
Yeah, because you'll get all of the randomness.
Right.
But anyway, how have you been doing the last couple weeks?
I'm tired, but I'm hanging in here, man. I'm doing all right.
Yeah.
School starts pretty soon, so, kind of gearing up for that. Other than that, just kind of hanging out, working hard,
Yeah.
Nothing super new going on that I can think of. How about yourself?
It's worn out. The joys of having a newborn.
Yeah. It's gotta be doing it.
Yeah. So we're hoping that soon she'll be sleeping for longer. Hopefully in the next couple weeks.
Just getting to that point.
Yeah, we hope.
Yeah. But, fingers crossed.
Yeah. Today was a little messy because she threw up like 3 times just before we started the show.
Better out than in.
Yeah, the first time for me, twice for my wife, and it wasn't small amounts either. It was like the entire contents of her stomach.
Ooh.
And it was messy.
Gotta get rid of it sometimes. You can't keep it all.
Yeah, I would prefer she just digest it and got rid of it the normal way rather than all over everyone.
Well, babies do what babies want to do.
I know. Anyway, let's go ahead and jump into our water cooler talk. Zach, what are you bringing for us today?
Well, I'm gonna be talking about that Discord. Because they're doing their beta testing for their video chat and screen share, which is pretty cool. And the videos and stuff, they've got a website. On their website, on their blog, they've got videos of what it's going to look like and people using it, and it looks real cool.
Yeah.
So, and like we were talking before we started the show, I mean, as long as it's stable, it looks brilliant.
Yeah.
And of course, there's going to be wrinkles that they're going to have to iron out when it first launches because nothing goes like 100% smoothly. But
But already it's looking like it's going to be a solid replacement for Skype, which
oh
granted
yeah,
isn't saying much because Skype is taking
no,
a giant poo right now.
I
But
know, I know. Yeah, I mean, really, the big thing now is like how many how many people can handle it once? You know,
yeah,
how are they
from
handling the streaming? Are
yeah,
the servers going to be strong enough to handle the increase in bandwidth?
which is
Um,
is why they're actually doing the beta test right now is
exactly. Yeah, and they're
to
rolling
test
it
their
out
servers
slow
and everything.
too, because they were
Yeah,
doing like I don't know how long ago, like a month ago, for a month. I don't know how long, but they were doing like 5% of the Discord population got the video chat and screen sharing, and
yeah,
now it's up to 10% now. I
yeah.
just
It's
got the
10%
notification today.
plus 10% plus anyone who's doing Discord
Is a
Nitro.
Discord Nitro, yeah, which
Yeah,
I have considered just because I want to support them, but um, at this point it's like, well, money's got to be spent on other stuff currently, but
yeah. I'm
maybe
actually
at some
not.
point
What
here.
is Discord Nitro?
Disco Nitro.
Yes, Disco
So
Nitro.
you support the development, and they just give you some little things like you can use your custom emoji all over
Okay.
in any server. You get a boosted upload limit. So
Mm,
right now you can upload files that are like 8 MB, and it'll be boosted up to 50 MB. So that's a
ooh,
considerable boost.
yeah,
Um, you get an animated avatar, so your little avatar can be animated, which
cool.
is whatever. It's not you know they're they're really just trying to like offer something so that people can support them and their
Yeah,
development. It's not really to get stuff out of it.
true.
So that's mostly because Discord is free
Yeah,
essentially. It's all free and it's a great, awesome product. So I
yeah,
bet they have a ton of I bet they already have a ton of Nitro subscribers, but
yeah. I wouldn't be surprised.
you can get those
But
numbers. But yeah, I'm way looking forward to the video calls. That's going to be really neat.
yeah, and I'm especially looking forward to it because it'll make our lives as podcasters easier as well.
It
I'll
will. Yeah.
Yeah, because we have a couple plans. Because I really do want to record video to
Hmm.
of the show to put on YouTube as well, and
Hmm. Yep.
Skype is taking a flying dump right now, so
Right.
I'll
Well, I mean, Hangouts was a pretty good. It was a pretty good replacement, but it still doesn't do. It doesn't
yeah,
do everything you want, and it's not as stable as you would want either. So
yeah,
it's really all about how stable can they make it. You know,
yeah.
I'm
But
looking forward to seeing how it might work in conjunction with something like the online tabletop stuff that we do.
yeah, yeah,
Because if,
definitely,
if I can use it as a replacement to the built-in cameras in Roll20,
yeah.
man,
Which tend to be a
that would
little
be awesome.
glitchy at times.
Oh, they're super glitchy, like all the
Yeah.
time. But
Well, I was trying to be delicate with them, but yeah, pretty
you're
much.
being nice. You're being
Yeah,
nice. They're super glitchy all the time.
yeah. But yeah, that'll be really cool to. I'm just looking forward to like since the end of last year. I've been looking forward to Discord video.
Uh,
Oh, so it'd be nice that
well,
it's actually like on the horizon.
they know that people are, itching to get their hands on it too. Because if you read the end of their their blog that's about the video testing portion of their beta, he ends it with, "We're just as excited as you are to finally get this thing into your grasping claws. Now, please let go of my neck so we can get back to work." So they're quite aware that everybody is chomping at, they're all chomping at the bit to get their
Yeah.
hands on this. So
All right, but definitely looking forward to that.
yeah.
For me, I have a couple random things like all of them are Blizzard related because again, I'm a Blizzard fanboy.
No, you're
Um,
not.
it's a little bit. Uh,
Okay.
the newest expansion for Hearthstone's been released. It's Knights of the Frozen Throne, where basically all 9 of the heroes die and become Death Knights, and
Jeez.
so it was funny when they were doing the preview for it. Ben
Yeah.
Bro just like, well, we're trying to. How do you take such like a serious idea as like Death Knights and stuff like that and turn it into something like Hearthstone, like something you can see in Hearthstone? And it's like we
Sure.
came up with the idea that everyone dies. Okay. So, but a bunch of really powerful cards, including the Lich King himself, is now a playable card in there, which is really cool.
Sick. That is
Um,
cool.
yeah. So they actually have single player like PvE content for free. It's basically similar as to the old adventures that they had before, but
Yeah.
everyone has access to it automatically. You can play through it and get a couple free Frozen Throne packs, which is cool. So another big one, StarCraft Remastered has been released.
Yes. Yes.
So I believe we talked about this probably like a month or two ago or something like that.
It was a while. Yeah, it was a little while
Yeah,
ago.
when it was like just announced. But yeah, StarCraft Remastered. So it's the original StarCraft and Brood War, but with updated graphics. You know, tuned for modern PCs and Mac and 4K compatible and all this jazz. So it's just a modern it's a remastering of the original StarCraft, which is really cool.
Yeah.
I think it's on there. You can get for I think I don't remember how much.
15. I'm looking at it right now.
$15. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's still
I
it's
think it,
pretty.
it does require you to have the original StarCraft, which I think is that
Yeah. I'm
free
pretty
now?
sure when they
Yeah.
did remastered when they announced it,
Yeah, it
they
went
shortly
free.
thereafter they made the original StarCraft the SD version of StarCraft free.
Yeah.
So yeah, you can get the original StarCraft for free, and for $15 you can get the remastered version, uh, which is it brings back a lot of memories. Uh,
Yeah. Yeah. Did you actually pick it up?
no, I haven't.
Not yet.
Uh, Honestly, the biggest problem I have is the fact that I am utterly horrible at StarCraft in general.
Well,
So
I mean, you know,
yeah, I mean,
everybody has.
yeah,
It,
it's nostalgia. I mean,
I
at some
remember. I was
point,
gonna
if
say,
I
yeah. I remember playing a lot of LAN games, and
yeah,
I mean, we did fine, but like we were fighting each other, not really
yeah.
fighting anybody who was
And
super
by
hardcore good at it.
fighting, we use that term loosely because we weren't really fighting each other so much as just making seemingly impossible defenses and just
Right.
waiting for someone else to attack.
Yeah, trying not to Zerg rush.
Yeah.
Right. Right.
But
That's cool
so
though.
yeah, so StarCraft Remastered is out now, and they've Blizzard has actually released their schedule for Gamescom, coming up in a couple
Oh
days.
yeah.
And there's supposed to be some pretty big announcements for a lot of their games.
Oh yeah.
One of which is like the next hero for Heroes of the Storm. They're supposed to be
Hmm.
releasing information on a new map for Overwatch and a new short for Overwatch as well. So just a bunch of news for on that front, including even like an Overwatch cosplay and a bunch of stuff.
Hmm.
So one thing they were mentioning is while Gamescom isn't necessarily as big of an event in the United States as say E3 or something like that, it's still a
Right.
really big gaming show. So it's makes sense that they're going to be having a lot of content to show off there. All
Yeah,
right.
that's gonna be pretty cool.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to seeing what the new hero is going to be in the new map and stuff like that. Oh, also
Sure.
another little piece of news that I forgot to mention. I didn't put in the show notes. Speaking of Overwatch,
Uh-huh.
they have made a very significant change to their original view of Overwatch, and they have added a deathmatch mode in the
Really?
arcade. Yes, they have a regular deathmatch and they have a team deathmatch mode in the arcade right now.
Uh-huh.
I believe it's on the public test realms. They're still testing it out.
Okay.
Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, that's one of the things that they said they were not going to do with the original game when they originally released it. But then they came out with the game browser, with the arcade and everything like that, things that aren't the official mode of play in Overwatch. So now it gives them a lot more freedom to explore these different these different modes that they otherwise would not have done.
Yeah.
So I haven't I haven't tested it out yet. There's still the biggest problem still is the fact that the heroes themselves are still tuned for being in teams. So
It's not
some
balanced.
yeah, so some heroes,
Okay.
like a lot of defense heroes, are going to be pretty much useless. Like support heroes are pretty much uh, useless to play in there because they're not going to be doing enough damage and all that jazz.
Uh-huh.
And
Yeah.
while like offense heroes are going to be much more useful, so they haven't really balanced it yet. But still, just the fact that they're even testing out something that they originally said they weren't going to do is a very big step.
Sure.
So, and I'm really interested to see what kind of stuff they incorporate into that. All right. With that, I think we can go ahead and get back to work. Today, we are actually going to be talking about two games, two very small, very pretty easy to handle tabletop games. The first one is called Deep Sea Adventure, and the second is called Loot. So, Deep Sea Adventure is designed by, I'm assuming this is Jun and Goro Sasaki. It's actually
I think that's right.
yeah, originally it was a Japanese game, and it's
Yeah.
published by Oink Games. Loot is designed by Rainer. Names that are so difficult to pronounce. Nizia, I think that's how I'll choose to say that. Rainer
Let me
Nizia,
look it up. You keep going.
and it's published by Gamewright. Right now, you can find Deep Sea Adventure on Amazon for about $22, and you can find Loot on Amazon for about $8.
Yeah, no,
Oh.
I'm not going to touch that name.
Yeah, I'm pretty
Go
sure
ahead
it's
and-
like Nizia. Well, like I said,
Nizia.
we'll just that's
He's
how
German.
I choose to pronounce it.
Right.
We're gonna start with Deep Sea Adventure. It's a game for 2 to 6 players. The players are these deep sea divers trying to recover treasure from the ocean, and the one of the big things actually getting ahead of myself. We'll talk about that in a little bit. But set up the game. It doesn't take a whole lot of space to take up. Yeah. Also, I'm running on like 4 hours of sleep, so if I repeat myself, that's why.
It's okay.
Again, the joys of having a newborn. Uh, for the
You'll make
setup,
it.
yeah. You place the submarine. It comes with a little submarine plaque or whatever. You put that on the table, and you basically create a line of the treasure tokens, which come in different shapes, and you put a line of those below the submarine. You start off with the triangles, which have the least value, then to squares, pentagons, and hexagons, which have the most value. When you start it off, it's basically the game is divided into 3 dives. So everyone starts off by diving down from the submarine, and the game comes with 2 6-sided dice that are numbered 1 to 3, and you roll those. That's how far you move. The one key to remember though when you're moving is that you skip over any spaces that are already occupied by another diver. So it's when I played this, that was one of the interesting things is it's very possible for whoever's last to get a very low number and still end up in front of everyone else, just because they get that last space where that last person is and just skip over everyone and go to the front of the line because of how they do the movement. So I thought that was really interesting. Sometimes it can be helpful. Other times it can be very harmful to you because you can end up going a lot further than you want to go.
Yeah, overshoot.
Yeah. But after you move, if you land on a treasure, you have the option to either pick it up or leave it there. Now, the game kind of changes when divers start picking up treasure. Because when the diver is holding treasure, their movement is reduced by 1 for each of the treasures they're holding.
Well, yeah, it's heavy.
Yeah. So, you're picking up 1 treasure, you're still able to move quite a bit, but once you start getting to like 2, 3, you're picking up way too much stuff. And there have been times when it's like I played and I rolled and I didn't move at all because of the treasures I was holding. So it can be you have to kind of balance that out. Also, at the beginning of each player's turn, if they're holding treasure, the oxygen supply in the submarine is reduced by the number of treasures being held. So if you're holding 2 treasures at the beginning of your turn, the oxygen supply is reduced by 2. And if that oxygen supply runs out, that's the last turn for the dive. And if anyone is still in the water after that, they pass out and drop all their treasure, and the treasure sinks to the bottom.
Yeah, but let's not bandy words, dude. They die.
Yeah, I know.
They don't just pass out.
Well, I was trying to make it more
they're done.
more continuity, because there's 3 dives. How can they continue on with the second dive if they die in the first? Anyway,
Okay.
so and that oxygen supply is shared with everyone. So
that actually is the thing that I like the most about this game, is the fact that everybody's like poor, so you share a sub, you share your oxygen. I think that's awesome. They all take turns going out because there's not enough. I mean, it's great. Yeah. That's great.
But it's interesting because you can actually use that as a strategic element. Like when I was taught this, the person said one of the things you can do is you can purposefully dive really deep into the ocean, pick up a bunch of treasure in order to burn up the oxygen, so that you screw everyone else, right, and force them to drop their treasure before they can get back to the submarine. So I thought that was a kind of an interesting mechanic for it as well, because you can actually make that conscious choice to basically screw everyone else.
Which, of course, why wouldn't you?
Yeah. But anyways, after you pick up a treasure, that spot is filled with a blank tile for that dive, which is important later on. At any time before you roll, you also have the option of turning around, heading back towards the submarine. So the biggest thing with that is, once you make that choice, you cannot undo it. Once you choose to head back, you must continue until you reach the submarine or you run out of oxygen. So it kind of gives this element of, push your luck, because you have to try to determine, well, how far do I want to try to go into this ocean to try to get the more valuable treasures before turning back? Because if you grab a treasure and your movement speed is reduced and you don't get back in time, you lose that treasure. It sinks to the bottom of the ocean. Also, a quick note about treasures that sink to the bottom of the ocean. They just go to the end of the line of the tokens, and they're actually stacked up to 3 tiles together. When that happens, they also count as 1 treasure, that whole stack. So if you get a couple people who early on the game dump a bunch of treasure at the bottom of the ocean, you can try to grab those treasures later on like dive 2 or 3 and try to really get a bunch of points off of those. But once the dive is concluded, all of those blank tiles for any of the treasures that were picked up, all of those blank tiles are removed, which shortens the line of the treasures, which makes it so that in the next dive you can get further down into the ocean, pick up more valuable treasures. So it gives it this kind of interesting, again, how far do I want to go? Do I want to just stay in the shallow waters, get maybe pick up 2 or 3 of the really cheap treasures, so that later on it shortens the line. I can bank those ones pretty easily, and then later on I can try to go for the big points.
Right.
Or you can try to go for the 1 treasure that's maybe in the second tier, which the way they have the treasures, the second tier is always more than the first tier, the third tier is always more than the second tier, the fourth tier is always more than the third tier. So it's, sometimes it's worth it to go down to the second tier, only pick up 1 treasure, rather than staying at the top tier and picking up 2 or 3.
Right.
So it just depends.
More bang for your buck. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, after everyone either gets back to the submarine or dies, the that first dive ends, and the next dive begins. And you have a total of 3 dives. And whoever has the most points at the end of the third dive wins the game. So, uh, another thing that's really cool about this game is just the aesthetics. You know,
Yeah, it's cool.
it's a
Like
very
it kind of looks old school.
yeah. I mean, it's got a very clean look to it. Very simplistic, and everything fits in a box that's probably about the size of a Magic deck box. Probably
Which is
even a little
probably
bit smaller.
it's probably super attractive to somebody like you who carries around a massive
Yeah,
case of board games.
yeah. I mean,
Yeah,
this and Loot actually are both games that, like, if you're waiting for your food at a restaurant, you can just, pull it out of your pocket and set it up on the table and go from there. It does
they're
not
like
take.
they're like in the zombie dice category of
Yeah,
portable.
yeah. Which are those kinds of games are always fun for me,
Oh
just because
yeah,
they're they're like I said, they're just so easy to take with you anywhere you go. Just set up, play a game. I mean, the total game takes maybe half an hour. So
well,
it does.
plus, I mean, it's not just that. Like the rules are not complicated, so you're not
Yeah,
spending, an hour explaining every intricate detail to everybody
yeah,
who's new to the game. You
yeah,
give them a 5 minute primer, they're good to go.
yeah. I mean, yeah, even the what we just described
Hmm.
uh, is when you're just trying to describe it like I'm doing right now. It seems a little bit more nuanced or difficult than it actually is. Once you're actually starting to play the game, it's just so intuitive.
It's very simple.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it just makes sense. So it's very easy game to get into, and does not take up a lot of real estate. So like I said, you can just pull it out and you know while you're waiting for food at a restaurant or in a coffee shop or stuff like that. It's really cool.
Right.
And on to Loot. Loot is a card game for 2 to 5 players. If you're playing individual play, you can do 2 to 5 players, or you can do teams of 2, either 2, 3, or 4 teams of 2.
Yeah, I
Oh,
thought that was cool.
yeah,
That's really neat to offer that um, option, like so you can kind of. I don't know. I always like games where it's like a cooperative, but like you're still facing off against your friends. You know what I mean? Like there's not a lot of games like that. It's usually like one man firm, everybody for himself.
yeah. But yeah, so you can actually you can play this up to 8 players, which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
But the whole game consists of just one deck of cards, and this card consists of couple different varieties. But the premise of the game is that everyone is playing as these pirate factions trying to take merchant ships. And so, a couple different cards. You have the pirate cards, which there are 4 different colors of the pirate cards, which we'll get into why that's important later. You have the merchant ship cards, which are what you're playing for. Those are, whoever has the most points from the merchant ships wins the game. Uh, there's the pirate captain cards, which are basically trump cards.
Mm.
And then you have the admiral card, which is like an ultimate trump card. But the basic gameplay, is, you actually completely forgot how many cards you start off with in your hand. 6 cards in your hand.
Yep.
And uh,
And there's no hand limit.
yeah, there's no hand limit, but on your turn, you can do one of a couple different actions. You can either draw a card from the deck, so just refilling your hand. You can play a merchant ship in front of you, which basically that opens it up to be attacked by other players. You're to start the fight over the merchant ship, but
Hmm.
someone has to do it because that's how you win is by getting these merchant ships.
Right.
You can play a pirate ship card to attack one of the merchant ships. Or if you're already in a fight for a merchant ship, you can add it to that fight in order to strengthen the attack and hopefully win that merchant ship. You can play a pirate captain to similarly to the ship to Basically, if you play the pirate captain, it automatically takes the ship unless the next person plays another pirate captain. Or you can play an
Which would be
admiral.
admirable of you, right?
Wow, you can play an admiral in order to take a merchant ship that you played yourself, and that would supersede a pirate captain as well. But it only applies to ships that you played. So, yeah, so on your turn, those are the actions you can take. So,
You can take one.
yeah,
You
you can
gotta
only
pick
take one per
one
turn.
action per turn, which means the turns are pretty quick.
Yeah, the turns are very quick. Like
Mhm.
when I played this, we played like 3 games in 10 minutes.
Yeah, it's another quick one, which
Yeah,
is again is awesome.
yeah. Oh, so a couple of the little nuances of the game is we mentioned the different colors for the pirates. When you choose to start attacking a merchant ship, you choose one of the colors for whatever pirate faction you're attacking it with. Now, what that does is it makes it so that whatever color you play, you're locked into that color, and it also locks out everyone else from that color. So it can be sometimes it can be pretty strategic. Like if for yeah, it adds a little bit of nuance to the game because you can really screw someone over is like if both players have only one color for whatever reason and you're the first person to play that color, you can play something low and automatically win.
Right.
So, but it adds that interesting nuance because then you have to really think about the cards you have in your hand, how powerful they are, how many of them you have, and
Hmm.
so on and so forth. And that also applies to the captains. The captains have the same 4 colors, and you can only play a captain
On a
of the
matching
color
color
that you're
ship.
already
Yeah.
playing.
Yeah.
Um, so, and there are different values for the ships from 1 to 4. There are different values for the merchant ships, which go from 2 to 8. So, and so basically, once you start attacking a merchant ship, if it if it gets back to whoever has the highest score on that ship, if it gets back to that player, they win the ship. They get the merchant ship. And one other thing that's kind of random thing of note is if the players are tied, it doesn't go to anyone. It can go multiple turns while being tied and nothing happens to it. It There cannot be a tie for the ship. It stays in play until the tie is broken. So theoretically, someone can play a merchant ship, both players play the same amount of power on it, run out of cards, take several turns drawing cards from the deck, and then continue on to try to capture the merchant ship again.
Yeah.
So, but it's again just like a deep sea adventure. This one actually takes even less space on a table because it's literally a deck of cards and then whatever cards you have in front of you.
Yeah, the setup's pretty tiny. And I mean the
Yeah,
cards that you're not playing you don't play with an open hand, so
yeah,
that stuff's not on the table as it is.
yeah,
You're hiding it. So yeah, it's pretty small.
yeah. And
It's
once
good.
again, it's another game that's just very easy to get into, especially
Uh-huh.
like once you start actually playing it and seeing how the different cards and how they're played and everything. It's very very easy to pick up.
Yeah.
Oh, and again, another one of those games that you can just fit in your pocket. All right. That was actually pretty quick. Didn't realize we were going to get through both of them that fast. But do you have anything else
Well, I
that you
mean,
wanted to
they're
know?
small games.
Yeah, that's true.
No, I mean, I aside from the fact that like I'm always on the lookout for easy games like that. Like I think one of the first small games in the same vein that I played was Zombie Dice, and
Yeah,
just the ease of uh, how easy it was just to get into it, just to set it up and it's so simple.
Yeah.
It's such a simple mechanic, but it's still a lot of fun. And these follow that same vein. So I'd say if you like zombie dice, definitely give Deep Sea Adventure and Loot a shot, because you'll come away enjoying them, I'm sure.
Yeah. And like we mentioned, the games don't take very long at all. They're very
Right.
fast games, so you can get a lot of them in a short amount of time.
Did
All
we
right.
did we say how much Loot costs?
Yes, it's on Amazon for about $8.
$8. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, I mean,
I mean, it's
it's like a
it's
meal.
a single deck of cards.
Yeah,
So
not bad.
yeah. All right, and with that,
Yeah, I don't know how this is gonna work, Sean. Very poorly.
well, granted, yeah, a lot of these questions are going to be just more or less random chance guesses, because
Yeah.
I, up until about an hour before the show, I forgot that I even write a quiz. So these are just like, how many
Nice.
of this thing are in this game?
Oh, good, dude. This is my favorite.
So-
I love them.
At one point, I was going to say how many submarine tiles are in Deep Sea Adventure. Originally, I was going to do something like that, but then I was like, let's make it a little bit more difficult. And by a little bit more difficult, I mean like random chance. So,
Yeah.
all right. Question number 1. How many treasure tiles are in the game Deep Sea Adventure? Is it A 26, B 28, C 30, or D 32?
28.
That is wrong.
It's 30, isn't it?
32. There's
Oh,
8
well,
of
okay, I don't feel
each.
so bad then.
Yeah, there are 8 of each of the tiles, and there's 4 different tiles
Okay, that
for
makes
different
sense.
shapes.
Yeah.
All right. Question number 2. How much oxygen does the submarine start with each dive? Is it A 21, B 23, C 25, or D 27?
D5. 25, sir. Final
That is
answer.
correct.
Yes.
It starts with
Yes.
25.
That's a good one.
Yep. All right. Question number 3. What year was Deep Sea Adventure first published? Is it A
God.
2014, B 2015, C 2016, or D 2017?
Let's go with 2015.
It is 2014.
I thought that was too long ago. This
Nope.
really is random chance, isn't it, buddy?
Yeah, pretty much.
Randomize these questions.
Well, you got one right, so you're.
True.
We'll give you that.
I can't
You're
complain.
not going to get
All right, thank
fired. So,
Okay, that's good. Just poor performance review. That's fine.
yeah. All right. Question number 4. What is the most common gold value for the merchant ships? Each of the merchant ships has a gold value. Which one is the most
Ooh.
common? Which is it?
Go.
The 5 gold, the 4 gold, the 3 gold, or the 2 gold? Which
I
one is the most
think that-
common?
I think it's the 3.
That is correct.
Yes.
I think.
Yes.
What is it? Yeah,
There's
there
like
are.
4 or 5 of those or something like that.
Yeah, there's
Or
5
more.
2s, 2 gold. There's 6
Okay.
3 gold,
6.
and
That's
then
what
5
it was,
and 5.
yeah. All right.
And there's 2 6s, 1 7, and 1 8. So those ones
Yeah.
are very
Well,
rare.
I knew those were super rare. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. If you could remember what I just said, this will probably be a little bit easier, but probably not. I'll ask it anyways. What is the combined value of all the
Oh,
merchant
please.
ships?
Please, Sean. Don't do this.
Is it A 88, B 92, C 96, or D 100?
96.
It is incorrect. It is 100.
Straight up.
Yep.
Should've
And if
just
you
guessed that.
add
I thought that
all of them together, they're worth 100 gold total.
I thought it was too obvious. I was wrong. It was the proper response.
Yeah.
Damn.
Well, like I said, you still got one right. So you.
Two right. I got 2 right.
Oh yeah, that's right. You did get 2 right.
That's
okay.
right.
Whatever. You're.
Promoted.
Yeah, I don't blame you.
Thank you.
So. Yeah. Anyway.
Good.
All right, and with
I can die
that,
happy.
that brings us to the end of our show. Pretty short one today. Oh, got through them pretty quick, but doesn't mean the games are bad. It just means they're
Right?
very easy to explain, which it's
They
a good
are.
thing.
Yeah.
Oh,
I mean, our zombie dice. I mean, I think we flew through that pretty quick too, and that's a great game. These are
yeah,
also great games, so you know.
yep, indeed. All right, everyone. Thank you for joining us. If you find value in our show and would like to support us, you can at patreon.com/parttimegamers. I'm still updating the goals and the rewards. Should be doing that this week, and hopefully we got a couple good ones that will interest any of you. You can also help us by subscribing to our YouTube channel, which actually one of my coworkers at work, who I told him about the show, actually subscribed to our YouTube, so we got him there.
Nice.
Cool.
Nice.
You can also help us out by giving us a 5-star review on iTunes. If you'd like to contact us, you can with our email, parttimegamers.cast@gmail.com, or on Twitter at PTGcast. You can also find me on Twitter at Searanex, or on Blizzard Battle.net. They're
Blizzard
keeping
Battle.net.
the battle.net name now, but they're making it Blizzard Battle.net now
Ugh,
for whatever
somebody
reason.
is making weird decisions there.
And you can find me on there with the battle tag Searanex number 1996. You can find the show and the rest of my work at caffeineinducedproductions.com. You can find Ember on Twitter at 9of12, on Blizzard Battle.net at 9of12 number 1102, and on the Geek Grills podcast at geekgrills.com. How about you, Zach?
I can be found sometimes on Blizzard Battle.net, Battle Blizzard Net, with the Battle Blizzard Net battle tag of Zachlith number 1466. Although I'm not on there super frequently, I will be on there after I download StarCraft. Not tonight. Well, I will download it tonight actually, but yeah, I'm going to be playing
Sweet.
that. That's good stuff.
Sweet. All right, everyone. Until next time, we are the Part-Time Gamers, clocking out. Why? Oh. I guess it helps if I actually turn the volume up on it again.
Now we're clocking out.
Yep.